What is up and welcome back. If you're new, that's how I do the thumbnail. Sometimes it picks it. Sometimes it lets me pick it. Sometimes I be looking super crazy. All right. As you can tell by the title, there is some super drama popping off with the channel Shannon Rose and the Dad Podcast Challenge. Now, I know a lot of you guys are here from the channels that I cover, the fake weight loss channels. And if you're new, I do a little bit of everything over here. Tea, news reacts, drama hauls, makeup, and everything in between. Dog stuff. I am a dog mom. I don't have children, but anyways, we do a little bit of everything, story times and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get right into what is popping off, why I felt the need to cover this and discuss what is going on between these two and how it escalated to this point that I think so. All right, so if you don't know, sorry, I got my notebook over here. This was a dig deep, and I've had my eye on Shannon Rose for a while ago, and I will tell you how I got hip to Shannon Rose and what kind of gave me this strange, kind of bad perception of her. So, Shannon Rose, as I mentioned, does a little bit of everything, also vlogs. She is kind of like a family channel. She has a 4-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, and she does story time. So, a little background history of Shannon Rose. She is a retired porn star. Now, sorry guys, YouTube has really been cracking on the words, so she is a retired PORN star. Now, as you guys, if you're familiar with me or if you are new, I used to dance, be an exotic dancer, stripper, whatever you may call it. That is what I used to do back in my prime. I was younger. I would go in between dancing, cooking, both back, a little bit of everything. But in my 20s, I danced. So I have nothing wrong at all with, the work industry, nothing wrong with that. Now, there is some things that why I think it is kind of, well, it's not kind of, it is horrible things that Shannon did a lot of fetish work in the past, and that is where it comes to me. It's like, to each their own. I always say that, if you're consenting adult, you're not drugged, you're not, given alcohol, you're not doing it against your consent. Hey, do what you want to do. It's your body, and I'm all for it. Go for it. But I have to draw the line at some things for me, myself. Shannon has made some videos where this is where the controversy comes in. A lot of people, we got a story coming up about a brand, and we'll get into that more, but I kind of want to give like a baseline of her and kind of get into the nitty gritty, and that'll kind of show what the controversy steps into play. It's not about the P work that she used to do. It's where some of the fetish work comes in, is where the controversy steps into play. So, Shannon has made fetish videos in the past that show her literally with some heels on, stepping on a crawfish. She mentions in her video that she took down with the Dad Challenge, kind of doing a reaction, kind of like a review on him. She did a video to a video that he did of her, and then he reacted to it. Now, the video that Shannon took down is on the Dad Podcast Challenge channel. If you want to see it in full entirety, she did take it down, because we'll get into why she took it down, at least that I think so. So, the work that Shannon used to do, the fetish work, it was stepping. One of the videos, sorry, my dogs are acting a fool. Simon. Sorry, I got a French bulldog, and this is like my second video, and he's starting to get hyper now. Hi, Bubby. Show the Bubby here. Hi, buddy. And I too have shorts on. I would have put that out there. Hi, Bubby. Okay, Bubby. All right. Sorry, guys. He gets a little aggravated when I'm not around. Get down, bud. Simon, get down. Thank you, buddy. So, again, back to the crawfish. I apologize. She makes a comment that Crawfish are fish. They are not animals. I'm sorry. It's got a living, breathing... Sorry, I just got a new tripod. If you're new to my channel, my dogs have ruined my tripod getting caught up at the cord, and then it shorts out the light, and it's a whole big thing. So, I'm sorry. And then she makes a difference. Well, people kill animals to eat them. Okay. There is a difference between people, animals to eat them to survive and have to live versus stepping on it in a cruel form to show for a video for somebody to get their jollies off, if you catch my drift. And then there's another video that she put out, well, that is out there, of her putting her heel in a German Shepherd's throat. Again, to each their own, but I could not simply, no. You guys just seen I'm a dog mom, and no amount of money I'm going to hurt an animal for that. It's just not worth it. And then the other all-time big controversial video is Nazi porn. Nazi porn. Shannon is in, it's got a Nazi flag in the background, and she has a Nazi bikini on. Now you can say, Kaya, Shannon did have a former addiction, and I'm not addiction shaming. I am a recovering addict, and I commend her on getting clean and staying clean. It is one tough ride. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I just can't roll with the racism thing. I can't. And that is where people, you know, she doesn't understand. She's like, people are shaming me because of my past, because of what I used to do. No, Shannon, I think it's the type of videos that you used to do. And the biggest thing with Shannon, I noticed, is she doesn't understand that your past can affect your future, and the whole accountability thing, you know, and just saying, you know, I myself would have totally apologized for it and been like, you know, that was me back in the day. But the animal thing, she's like, well, it's not an animal, it's a fish. And I'm like, it is still a living being, creature. Again, it was not laid to rest to eat for somebody to survive. That is not why. She literally, in the video, I've seen it, she's like torturing it, in my opinion, with her boot. She's kind of going like that, and it's got its claw up, and it flips over, and she's like, oh, you can't get up, can you? And then crunch, excuse me, I know, but this is all I want to. So anyways, my bad, let's move right along. So in the Nazi porn, she says, I cannot be racist because I'm Jewish. Well, my friend, why would you even make that then? That, to me, is a whole new can of worms. It's like, why would you do your heritage like that and lower your standards to put out that if you genuinely are Jewish? I'm like, really? And like I said, you know, do what you want. It's your body, but nah, I couldn't. Okay, moving right along. So, back to how, sorry, I'm all over the place. This is a lot to cover. This is kind of a different realm than what I cover. I do like the fake weight loss channels. We call them the weight gains channels because they do fake weight loss content, but they continue to gain. And I'm not talking a couple pounds. We're talking like hundreds up into the 50s and continuing. So check out my videos if you're new. Welcome. So how I found Shannon was a video story time that she had done with Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau, Tana Mongeau, however I know different people pronounce it. Tana Mongeau and her did a video. Now, what made people mad is there was a day that they were going out drinking and shopping. Okay, cool. Do you, boo. What made everybody mad was there is a gentleman, you know, when you're on the boardwalk and you have like the public restrooms, you got all the different restrooms. Shannon opened up the door and proclaims there was a gentleman that people think deed dosed. Again, sorry with the words, they really have been cracking down lately. My last couple videos have just been limited or totally demonetized. So they open up the door and Shannon's like, whoa. So Shannon describes that she goes to get Trav, that is her husband, and goes to get Tana and says, look at this. So they clearly film it. Again, I think she took it off her channel or blurted out. I don't know, but there for a while, the filming, you know, was there of the gentleman, unfortunately, laying on the ground. Why would you not call 911 if you didn't have a phone? I'm sure they all had a phone. They're all pretty big into social media. Go get a lifeguard. Get a other person that's on the boardwalk, a sap, but yet you thought to film instead of calling 911, getting help first. So that to me, again, I'm a recovering addict and I know Shannon is too. And it's like, wow, how would that be your first thought to sit here and film this versus, you know, she could have possibly, I don't completely know her past, but you could have been in the same situation. If you would have jumped into action, I don't know what happened to the gentleman, but you know, it can be a matter of seconds, a matter of minutes, and you can help save somebody's life. But instead, you decided to go get Trav and Tana and film it. That says a lot right there to me. People were also mad that the video was monetized and you are talking about somebody in a time of crisis. So the big rumor here that jumped off, and Shannon's mother even calls why she is filming the video about Dad Challenge podcast. Now, I want to put it out here. I don't agree with everything that Josh says, Dad Challenge podcast, but you know, this was wrong, 100%. I'm not going to sit here and co-sign everything that everybody does and says. I am my own entity. I do not skew through everybody's videos. I do not know these people. I do not know everything they do, but I do know that, you know, she had no receipts. She had no facts. This was all something that was made up. Now, Josh Dad Challenge podcast used to be a preacher, a pastor at a church, and that is how this all went down. Sheeper claims that he used to be a R-word, a messed with children. Now, I think the reason why she did this, in my opinion, is Dad Challenge Podcast has covered her in the past. He does a lot of videos on, you know, channels that he feels exploit their children for views. I am not a fan of the family vlog channels. You guys know how I feel. I covered the Micah Stauffer case. Your children, when they are young, cannot consent to being on camera. I do not like it. I know there's channels. I've got a couple in my eye on my eye still that I've, you know, write down things that I keep my eye on. There is one channel that was talking about their daughter and their monthly friend becoming a woman coming to town, and they mentioned it. Why? That is such a private time in a young woman's life that you would mention that. Why? So it's things like that that I have trouble with and do not like the family vlog channels when it comes down to things like that. So this rumor got started, and I mean, imagine having your name and that tied to it. That is one thing, you know, that's not like, oh, I don't like him or yada, yada, yada. You are putting it out here. You do not know this man. You do not have any proof, facts, receipts that this man rapist, and that is why he got fired from the church and no longer works there. Pretty big rumor to get started. So, her and Travis seem to be like they're always arguing and stressed. I just watched, he put out a video, and we'll get to that at the end. They have 1,600 Patreons. She does have a Patreon channel. And she gets into different things, obviously, that you cannot, you know, show on YouTube. So, a couple weeks ago, a month ago, there was a brand called Natural Life. And they have, like, clothes and these headbands that Shannon wears. And she ordered a bunch, she said hundreds of dollars of headbands. Well, she put a Instagram photo up of her daughter wearing the headband, and tagged it to the company, and the company blocked her. So all of her stands, all of her fans was messaging this company and telling them, you know, the brand is kind of like they do like positive quotes and stuff like that, like a really positive company. Again, I don't think that the company didn't want to be tied to her. That is why they blocked her. She started crying and made a video about it. Said, look, I even have the sticker on my laptop. Okay, great. But if that brand doesn't want to be tied to you, that brand doesn't want to be tied to you, why make a video about it? So the brand ended up apologizing. I think that's ridiculous. Why? Why? Because people messaged you and told you to apologize. That, to me, right there, is a turnoff to the brand for me. Stand in what you believe in. You know, it's not about, like I said, to me, it's not about her past porn. It's about the type of porn. That is what it is to me. It is about the animal fish, the sea porn. That is where things come in. And if the brand doesn't want to be tied to you, gravy. Leave it alone. Don't wear their stuff. Find a new brand or don't promote it. But she made this whole big deal about it, and it just got to be ridiculous. So I feel like sometimes people have a hard time separating real life from YouTube or, you know, social media. Shannon doesn't get, you know, she always says, I've noticed, oh, it's about my past. No, back to what I just said. Back to what I just said. She always, I think, like comes up with this, people are shaming her. No, it's about the type of things you did. You have to realize when you are doing things that it can come back to bite you in the tail. If you do things for money, if you do things in your past can affect your future. And accountability seems to be like not in the picture sometimes. Shannon has also made comments that all homeless people are addicts or mentally ill. Shannon, you are a recovering addict yourself. People fall onto hard times. People lose their jobs. People can't. I struggle keeping my electric up, my utilities, paying rent. Not everybody has this giant, fantastic blogger life. And I told you guys when I started my channel that I am raw and I am real with you. And I don't paint this pretty picture. Everyday life is perfect. Everything's perfect. I am a real person. And when I started my channel, that is when I started it and said, you know what? I'm sick of getting on here, watching all these channels. That is another thing I have with the family vlog channels. It's like I notice in the comments, people feel bad about themselves sometimes watching the videos. They're like, wow, I don't have this giant mansion and I don't have a Ferrari or Porsche or brand new spanking car and have all this, you know, private interior decorators and have this fan, you know, I'm a real person. And I'm not afraid to get on here and say that. And when I started my channel, that is one of the high key points that I always let people know is I am just like you. I am just a normal person off the street. I am nobody special out here. There's a few big channels that I watch. But it's like, once you lose touch of reality and you want to paint this perfect picture that life is all rainbows and everything is great. And no, before, you know, I know I'm going to get a lot of different traction on this. No, I'm not jealous. I am happy with my little life and I am fine. So there's also stories that Shannon says her daughter was almost kidnapped by a crazy person, did a story time on it. It's like, damn, dude, okay. If your child was almost kidnapped, okay. But the story that she tells it was so all over the place. It's like, okay, Trav, my husband was over here. We were in a parking garage, yada, yada, yada. it kind of was weird to me. It's like, okay, if your husband was over here, why did you not go over there with your daughter beside him? And then why are you, it's like, crazy person. Like, okay, the person was obviously struggling. If you see somebody struggling and you do not feel safe, go over by where your husband and boom, problem solved. Or stick close to your husband if you feel like a situation is dangerous. There's another channel that I got my eye on that too, their child has almost got kidnapped a couple times. How is that a thing? Yes, I have a story time. I was almost, as a kid, I want to put that out there. No adults were with me and my friends. But if you're there and they're almost kidnapped all the time, it's like, are you doing this for clickbait? Or are you, sorry, I just thought, are you doing this for clickbait? Or are you... What's going on here? Are you doing this for a clickbait title? That's what it seemed to me. So, okay, so in the video of her with the crawfish, she keeps laughing, and I'm like, wow. Like, she didn't even, I get you gotta act, and that's your job when you're on camera. You know, that's your thing. You're getting paid to act. Make the video for the company, you get my drift. But it was like she was laughing during the video and didn't really to me seem like she was having a hard time making it. And still, when she discusses the video to this day, it's still kind of like she's not really sad about it. Animals are, excuse me, fish are not animals. Okay. Sorry, I'm like, I got off sidetracked. She says a statement, why, if I wasn't on my medicine, my meds right now, she would burn his house down with him and his family in it. She said the old me fired to his house with him and his family in it. So that could be another reason why the video was taken down, plus the accusations of the R word. I'm like, why would you even say the old me would have torched his house with him and his children in it? And starts laughing and has this look on her face like she's serious when she says it. I was like, whoa. So Petty Page has also made a video on this. This is what I find strange. And check out Radiant Brit. There's a channel, Radiant Brit, that also has covered this and that I watched. So shout out to Radiant Brit. Petty Page is a bigger drama channel. A bigger channel than Josh, Dad Challenge Podcast. And it's like, why are you coming for Josh, but yet you never came for Petty Page? I find that kind of strange. So, Shannon has had numerous books and story times, like I said. Again, how I found her, the one with Tana. So, her husband put out this video, like I said, and let's get to discuss it. And, it was very... It felt very forced and very, so yeah, it's 3 days ago. It is 11 minutes and 21 seconds, and it says, about my wife, Shannon Rose Vlogs. It seemed very forced. It kind of like seemed like, ooh, excuse me. Like, hey, get on here and make a video. People feel like I treat you some sort of way. In the video, he makes a statement. We don't have a nanny. We don't have a housekeeper. We have a 4-year-old and, or excuse me, a 4-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. And I'm like, okay. I get it's completely stressful. I do not have kids, but I've helped raise kids. Check out one of my streams. I just did a story time of my aunt that was struggling, and I helped raise her kids while she was going through something, and it's a whole big, check out the story. But he's like, we don't have a nanny, we don't have a housekeeper. Travis, many people don't have a nanny. Many people don't have a housekeeper. And I'm not saying that, there's tons of single mothers out there. It seemed very kind of like, to me, like, oh, well, we don't get sleep sometime. Okay. You have 2 young kids back to back. You have to figure that in, that, you have 2 young children. That is going to happen. You also have Shannon. You also have you. So there is 2 parents. Imagine single mothers that they are the only parent. It was kind of like, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. It was kind of like tone deaf in a way. It was like, we don't have a nanny or a housekeeper. Who does? I get there's people out there that do, and I'm not saying, it's not. Yes, I know. As helping raise kids, you need a minute to yourself. Babysitters are great. Family members are great to help out with, but it's like, he's like, well, they're the greatest things in the world, but, and it's like, what do you mean, but? You're a stay-at-home dad. You work from home. You don't have to go out of the house for work. Your wife is there with you at home. She also works at home, so it's just like, again, it was really tone deaf to me. It's like, dude, not everybody has a housekeeper and a nanny. Not everybody does, so I don't know. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled on this. Like I said, Dad Challenge podcast video, or Dad Challenge podcast, still has the video up. Shannon did take her video down, and I can see why, between the accusations of him and the whole talk of the house and what, inside of it, what she would do back in her past. Now, again, please don't send hate, or bad things her way. This is just something that I've had my eye on and that I've been watching unfold. And unfortunately, it has just got to a blow up point. Shannon also made a comment about, oh, I talked to my lawyer, and because we are in 2 different countries, it would be hard. Shannon, time out, thank you. You just put some serious accusations about Dad Challenge podcast. Do you think that you would win a lawsuit? He is sitting here talking about you stepping on an animal and you doing porn. You are sitting here tearing apart his whole character that could stop him getting another job, stop people from watching him. That's a whole different ball game, and I don't think you're going to win a lawsuit when you basically threatened what the old you would do, and you also accused him of some serious allegations. So, and it's like, what at the end of the day, people are going to have their opinion about you, and that's another thing that I want to. Nobody makes these people become YouTubers, influencers. You share what you want to on your channel. You knew that you had your past. You had to have known that when you started YouTube, that your past was going to come out. This is why I do a lot of videos, and I pretty much expose myself, and I do story times, because I know that people are going to come for you. They're going to try and dig up your past. That is why I say, hey, I'm a recovering addict. It is what it is. I tell you, hey, check out my story time. I used to be a dancer. I share my past with you because I know that not everybody's going to like you. They're going to gun for you, and there out comes your past. So she had to have known starting the channel that people were going to, hey, where did you come from before? You have nice things. You have a decent life. What do you do? Where did you get it? What did you do before this? So she just, like I said, it's strange to me that the only thing with me is, the animal stuff and then the other porn that I talked about. And it's like, Shannon, you have to realize sometimes you do. And like I say, there's a good old saying that all money isn't good money. It's just not. So, All right, guys, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I do a little bit of everything over here. Hence the word Kaya Simon's Life. I mean, we do a little bit of everything. I just did like an Ipsy bag in a Target haul when I did a weight loss. One of the weight gains, weight loss channels. I just did a big thing where they're controversial right now, talking about substances and doing a lot of things on camera and off camera, and it's just slipped between YouTube's radar, and I don't see how it's a thing. So hit that subscribe button. Again, my name is Kaya. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, great night, and I will see you later. Kaya is out.